Okay, it is past midnight. I just came home. It's 1:45 right now. I played a game and I won't be able to sleep until for quite a while. So I'll just make this. I really wanted to do something like this. This game was insane. You're warned. I should probably write down the outcome of the game as well, so I don't forget. This game was insane. So I played in a classical game, in a team game, and we played against the same club that we played against today recently in a sort of weird knockout tournament. In that game, or in that match, we played two games, one with white and one with black against the same person, and then you get a total of 8 games, and and I absolutely crushed that. I went 2-0 and barely managed to carry my team to a win. So basically the same team came back to get revenge, and I mean, they came in with definitely a stronger team. I mean, substantially stronger. Like, I believe their worst player was one of the best players from the knockout game, which is, I mean, technically that was true for us as well. I'm one of the better players on our team, and I was actually no, I wasn't. That's not true. I was definitely the best player on the in the knockout game, and I'm actually one of the better players on our team, which is not great to see, because we have been in a rating deficit for every game we've played so far, and we've lost every match we've played so far, and we've lost every match. Maybe this time it would change. Hint, it wouldn't, because outside of my game it was already 5-2 for them. So yeah, I mean, it could still be 6-2 or 5-3. We'll see. So I was black in this game. My opponent, I should probably look this up right now as we speak. I'm going to look this up right now as we speak. My opponent was one of their stronger players. Let's see. Oh, I have a thing open already. No, that's the wrong one. This one. I'm gonna look up their team. It was this one. Okay, my opponent only had a rating of 1882, which is still higher than mine. But this is one of the only teams that we had a reasonable chance of getting some points so far. Because, I mean, we have our team has a relatively low rating for the competition. Yeah, whatever. I actually have a rating of over 1800 now, which is good. And, well, maybe it's just barely over 1800, so maybe... I hope it stays the same. We'll see. I hope I'll stay above 1800 after this. So my opponent played e4, I played c5, knight f3. I almost went to knight d6, which is the move that I usually play, because I play so I'll put that in. I usually play this line, which is called a Sveshnikov, and then you play this and d6 and game continues. I believe the last game that I put up was this variation exactly. Actually, no, no, this is true. This was the exact variation, and I drew that game as black, which was fine. My opponent was, at the time, was pretty strong as well, but I didn't do that today. I wanted to expand my options, basically, so I went for d6 today, So again, d4, take, knight f6, because you can't play e5. That's the reason why you play either of these moves. To force knight c3, where it is slightly misplaced probably, and now I play a6, which is a Najdorf. And I have a bit of experience in the Najdorf as white. As black, I don't think I've ever played it, but I have like looked at it, of course, and I know some of the ideas. And then in the game I didn't play them all as well, but yeah, we'll see. They played bishop c4, I played g6, and they played bishop b3, which I did not expect, and it actually kind of changed the game because I don't think I reacted to this properly. I think I should just play normally, which is like bishop g7, knight c6, and then do like this type of setup where I force the bishop for rook trade, get the rook on c4, and like push stuff like here. It shouldn't be any different than a normal game, but I decided, instead of doing this maneuver, basically, I decided to do this, which I don't think is correct, but well, that's actually not right now. I took some time, played bishop g7 because I wanted to have my options open, f3, took some time again, castled, bishop e3, yeah, and now I played knight b to d7 and went for this type of idea, and I don't think that's correct, but we'll see, because my opponent plays like normal moves, queen d2 with this type of idea, which is the reason why you want the knight on c6, probably to have pressure here. Otherwise, because on bishop h5 you can take and win the knight, I think, or kind of. They can't play bishop h6 as easily, at least. But yeah, I decided to play knight c5, castled long, and now this is a very normal position, other than this knight being here and not here. And yeah, I took, and they took with the a pawn. Yeah, and they just, I mean, they're gonna do this and that and that. They have all the lines, and I should try to do this. But it's hard, actually, in this position, especially because this knight is annoying, and this knight is annoying, and actually the pawns are hard to get through, because I want to push the b pawn, technically. But yeah, I played queen c7 here. It's just a developing move, and I wanted to play b5 and prevent knight c6 options always. Yeah, so that's one of the main reasons why I did that. And I mean, the queen is still just completely fine here. You can't kick it ever, because this trade is good for me. But yeah, my opponent played king b1, which is kind of a waiting move, seeing what happens. I played b5, which is, well, my point, technically. And they played g4. And now I don't think I played the best move again, but I genuinely don't know what to do here, because honestly, like, this type of attack really doesn't do anything. I don't think this is really not anything. There is this funny thing that if I play e5 here, oh, not e6, but if I play e5 here, this knight has to go to e2, and then I can play this. Actually, that's not the correct move order, I think. I think the correct move order is b4. Knight can't go here, so it has to, because this knight gets trapped, so it has to go either there or there. And So let's say knight a4, I can play this, and then the knight has to move here. And I think this is maybe not that, because I actually would lose the pawn. Maybe this is playable. I don't know. It looked interesting at least, but and also this, yeah, this idea. I mean, it kind of looks like this is possible in multiple moments, and I don't think this is this is the best moment to do it, and it might not be ever best moment to do it. I actually played e6, so that mouse slip worked out well. E6 I don't think is the best move. I mean, the idea is to set up d5 pushes, but honestly, maybe I shouldn't even try. I mean, d5 is definitely a good move if e5 isn't possible. But if e5 is possible, then I have a slight issue because of this bishop. So yeah, h4 happened here, and I spent some time. I spent a lot of time here actually, like 30 minutes or something. This is a classical game with we have 1 hour and 15 minutes and 30 seconds per move, and that's it. I had like, my opponent was basically playing on the increments at like 1 hour 13 or 1 hour 12 left or so, and I started this move just under or just above an hour, like 1 hour and like 4 or 5 minutes, and I spent like 25 minutes on this move. I played the move h5, which I think is good. I think g5 doesn't lose a pawn. I had to calculate all of that, the variations, but I can play here, and the idea is that I can't defend this pawn. Well, I can technically, but you get f4. But this doesn't actually lose a pawn because I have this, and I take here, and then my position is actually good. I had to, and if they defend this, like somehow, then I can just play rook d8, and my position is actually very good in right here, and they can't ever push because of this stuff. Knight g4. So that's never really an option. Taking, I take with the knight, and then I think as long as my knight is here and my bishop is like pretty decent here, I think I'm probably fine here. I mean, they can force trade my bishop, but like, I'll just play this. I think I'd be fine here, and next slowly I'll play d5 and stuff. Maybe I shouldn't play it like this, but it's kind of what I expected, or kind of what I expected in this variation. So basically the best thing they can do is not do anything with this. They spent a lot of time here as well, also like 25 to 30 minutes or something, and they played bishop h6, which is a good move. I didn't really know how to answer it properly. I spent again a lot of time here. This is going to be a trend, because starting at move like 20 I'll have minutes left. And I have to play the entire game on basically the increment. Yeah. Which was, I mean, I didn't flag or anything, but yeah, we'll see when we get there. So yeah, there's this is kind of annoying with the wow, I can't draw arrows. This is just kind of annoying. There's a queen defending, and like my opponent is just setting up, slowly starting a kingside attack, and it's really hard to defend. And I spent a lot of time here because I couldn't find any move that would do anything positive other than pawn moves. So again, I saw this idea, like b4 first, then e5, but there's actually there might, I think this, I actually said that this wouldn't work because you can actually play knight e2, and then knight f5 was the point. And this I can't take because it opens this opens everything up, and I can't take here, and they're threatening to take here, so I think I'd lose an exchange here because, and I mean I can't do this. I just can't, right? It's probably dead. Yeah. So I looked at stuff like that. I didn't want to move any piece here. If I move the bishop, there are variations where, so if I move the bishop here, there are variations where I can't use the queen defensively on the 7th rank. If I move the bishop here, there are variations where I just lose the e-pawn because they can maybe like take on g6, and if I take back, then this hangs. If I mean I can move the knight, but I don't see the point. I mean I can just sack a pawn basically. I can trade, but I don't think that's good. Using the rooks isn't good because this rook probably wants to stay there or move here, and this rook wants to go here, which is blocked by the bishop and stuff. I looked at taking, which is probably interesting, but the issue that I found was I believe you take in between and then push, or maybe it was queen g5 first before pushing, so like queen g5 here. Oh, but then maybe knight h7. I think it's push here, and on knight takes you just sack, and this is probably, yeah, this is game. Okay, so I mean I looked at this, and I think, I mean, so I can't take the pawn, and then there's issues basically. I mean I win a pawn, but like I can't hold this. Alright, I win a pawn, I think so. But oh, no, wait. Nah, not really, right? Maybe that's not even accurate. Maybe this is, oh no, that's mate. That's not good. Oh, that's probably also bad. Maybe not. But yeah, it all looked, I didn't like taking on g4, but like any other move just doesn't do anything, I thought. So what I did in the end, I didn't play b4, I thought I was pretty clever here. After like 10 minutes of thinking, I found a move that actually did something nice, that also was a good defensive move, I think. And I'm pretty proud of this move. I played queen c5 here. And the point is that I defend laterally, which is really cool. You don't usually do this. I looked at, well, I mean, looked at all the normal moves, but here's another interesting move. You can sack this pawn, and I can't take with the pawn because of, well, that just blocks my view again. I can take with the queen, but maybe there's like knight c6 type of things. And I mean, you just at least get the pawn back, because you can always take here if you don't trust it. Maybe like that, and like maybe you take here now. I don't know. This looks good actually for white. But yeah, yeah, e5 looked interesting, and because it also prevents all my plans, but yeah. I mean, I didn't really see anything else. My opponent fortunately didn't play e5 because if they did, I would be sad probably. It's also very difficult to play, but yeah. My opponent actually just took. So that's this, and I have to take back clearly. They take on h5, and I can take with the knight obviously, and probably should take with the knight. But again, after I take with the knight, e5 looks scary. So instead, I thought, what if I just if I just prevented my opponent from blocking me, I just take with the queen. And then we play this position. I also really want to trade queens in, and if I manage to trade queens in this position, I think I'm better. Because the pawn structure is crumbled. This is pretty equal, these two groups. So this just blocks each other, and then I have a 4 versus a bat 3, and a bishop versus a knight. So my goal is to trade queens basically, and hope to not lose. Yeah. And that's easier said than done, because my opponent actually does something good here, and creates a lot of issues for me. And I didn't like that. I tried queen h6, because my opponent, I just attacked the queen, and if they block, which I just have knight h7. So I'd be okay with that, and they can't sack because they take with a pawn. So yeah, rook g1 did happen, queen h6 did also happen. They didn't block with the rook, but they just moved the queen. And I originally thought, well, what if they just go to h2, attack here, try to threaten this. I think I would have sacked the d pawn. Maybe I would have played e5. Also looks bad. There is this interesting thing where knight f5, now this pawn is pinned, so it kind of threatens to win the queen if I don't defend it properly, which is also why this bishop is kind of stuck. But it can go here now, if I ever have time. Yeah. So I basically just assumed this, and I would have found something to play. I don't think I would have played e5 because of knight f5 and like extra pressure here. Oh no, wait, I would have played e5, right? No, I wouldn't, because yeah. No, that doesn't work. I think, what would I have played then? After queen h2, unclear. Maybe just rook d8 and hope, pray, but like h5 looks very deadly. Maybe I would just barely hold on. No, I can't, right? This can't hold. So this, I would have just had to sack the pawn probably, and like try to threaten stuff like this, but like I think I'd probably be losing here. I assumed I was losing here for quite a while actually. And for the next like many moves, I'm definitely losing for the next many moves, because but my opponent played queen f2, which I think is, I mean, it's definitely a good move, and also has these types of things, and this f4, stuff like that. And here, I mean, I have to find something good to play. I tried this idea of b4, knight e2, and well, I don't want to play e5. Actually, I looked at e5, but there's like this, and probably knight f5 as well. But I think knight f5 would have been fine. I think the main issue is knight c6 actually. But so knight c6, and I have to do something like this if I don't want to lose the pawn, and then check, not check, but like threats here and there, and I mean, and this looks bad. Or I just give them the pawn and play like this, and just play on, try not to lose here. Or I play d5, which is another option, but oh, actually I lose this pawn. That's kind of bad. So I don't think e5 is good. I actually played another bad move, but I thought it was fine. I calculated some stuff and it looked decent. It's probably still bad, but it looked okay. Probably not the worst move I could have played. I played d5 here. And d5, I mean, it threatens to win this pawn, and that would be... I think I would probably hold at least, or be better if I just managed to win this pawn here, of course. And if they take, then it opens up my bishop and my knight gets out, and like, I think I'd also be very much fine, but they obviously just have e5, and yeah, I have to just play this. So there are two options here. I can play knight d7, or I can play knight h5. And I went for knight h5 because that was my plan. That was definitely part of the plan, but to prevent h5 by physically stopping it. And I thought that I would also block this knight from coming any forward, and this is never an issue anymore, so my bishop is just free to do not much actually, but you know, the idea is there. So my bishop is finally free, and it's finally completely walled. Oh, which is a thing. Yeah, so d5 is probably bad, but whatever. Knight g3. I tried to find something, find a reason to not have to take, but I thought that taking was fine because it always gives me an option to move my queen, or rook h8, or I mean, there actually isn't really a threat sometimes. So if my there are two options. If my opponent takes with the queen, I think my plan would have been what would I looked at two different things. I looked at both of these moves, so queen h5 and queen e3, because queen e3 threatens the knight, queen d2 also, by the way. Looked at all three of those options. I think I would have played queen h5 and just said good luck finding a way out. Well, at least, I mean, that's possible, but it's like, take some time. But queen e3 is, I think queen e3 would have been good as well. Attacking the knight. There is, I mean, if the rook moves, then I'm happy, I think, and I just play rook h8 and rook h5 and slowly stabilize. I think I do need to prevent my queen from getting trapped, but that's fine. That's fine. My queen can always go back to h6. But yeah, that's if the queen takes, and if the rook takes, suddenly it creates a pin here, so I don't really have to worry about this all that much, and I can just do whatever I want, and that's what happened. Well, do whatever I want is, you know, makes it. I can't do much, but I don't actually have to make a passive defensive move. I can try to activate some stuff. So I did play bishop d7, and now my rook can kind of maybe do something, probably not. But more importantly, the rooks got connected. So I can play rook h8 and it's defended by a rook, which I thought would be useful. I did see that my opponent could now basically box in my queen with the move f4, which I allowed. I could have played queen f4 here as well, which looks interesting. But I think the issue is just h5. And if I do this, I have to do this because otherwise I just lose on the... Yeah, this just crashes through. And like this or something. Maybe this might even be playable. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe that's a bit excessive. It sacks a piece. But... yeah. And if this, then this pawn is no longer pinned, and I might actually be able to take here. This is... this was the original plan, and then in the game I went for bishop d7, which gets f4, and then I'm not very happy. Also note, right now I believe I am under 10 minutes. So I'm playing, well, there's an increment of 30 seconds, so... Yeah, I have to find some good moves here. And I need to defend, and I also don't have any time here to find these good moves, which is an issue. Yeah. Wait, sorry, I made a mistake. They didn't play f4. They played h5 first. And then again I have queen f4, but that unpins, so they just take on g6, and that's probably crushing. So I didn't do that. I played rook h8, and now f4, and now my queen is dead. And I just have to suffer here. And I tried like king f8. Rook g5 is a good move. I kind of threatened to take the pawn. I'm still kind of threatening to take the pawn, or at least it's still possible to take the pawn. I just... what would happen is take... this is accurate, more accurate, take, and I'd have 2 rooks for the queen, which is probably losing. But it's... it might be better than... yeah, it might still be playable. I didn't take immediately after rook g5. Let's see, wait. Rook g5, where are we? Here. Yeah, I played I immediately blundered instead of taking the pawn and just probably losing still. I probably should play this or run more, even more than I already did. Because if I move my king, then there's an option of playing queen f8, and then this is no longer an issue, and yeah, so that's... yeah, I should probably play king e8 actually instead, or rook c8. I actually played king e7, which is very bad for multiple reasons, mostly because it gets into checks from the queen from both directions, and I would have genuinely, if my opponent played queen h4 here, I would have probably resigned. But if it actually mattered for the if it still mattered for the team game, I would have played on, of course, and I would have played f6 and king d6. That was my plan, and then hope that this is fine. But since you can't, since you might not be able to take, but these pawns are just monsters, and yeah, this is just over. And I have to do something like f6, that's important to note, and I can't take because of this. And if I don't play f6, there's issues like that, so I just have to move my king, so I basically have to move here. And then now actually this is still pinned, so you still can't take. Maybe you can take maybe it's like, I think it might be f5 or something. That's probably winning, not sure. But I thought queen h4 would have been very sad. My opponent, fortunately, did not play queen h4, but they did play something that is probably very similar in practice. They played knight f3, with the point that the queen goes in this direction and wins the pawn. And I tried to stop that. Rook ac8. And the queen goes to b6 instead, and with the pawn, I mean, I can technically do this, but that's also not great. And then queen, and here I decided that, I mean, I have to try to do something, because I'm just gonna lose otherwise. I'm losing a pawn here, my queen is still terrible, and I still can't run away because my king is blocking. I mean, I could still definitely try this, but my opponent said that they were surprised with my move, which was positive, because I'm playing on, like, I had 1 minute here, and my opponent, yeah, had enough time to look at all the moves, and I found something that is almost maybe playable, I guess. I just took, and I took again, and then we got to this position, and they take my pawn, and I move back. And now I play 2 rooks versus a queen and hope to survive, which is easier said than done. So there is something here maybe, and like, I am threatening to win a pawn with check here, and this rook gets in, and then there might even be mate issues. Probably not, but my rooks do threaten to connect, and then it would be probably a draw. So my opponent actually needs to do something here. And I mean, a lot of things work. They played c3, which is probably one of the worst options they had that's still winning, probably, because it also gives me bishop b5 and options with the bishop. Again, 1 minute, I have to find moves. Note that this is move 33. I have 1 minute, and look at the end of the game how many moves that was. It's gonna be fun. Or don't. Actually, wait until the end. Just look back. Yeah, bishop b5 was probably a good move. My bishop gets active on this diagonal, and the king has some issues. I can't actually block it from the second rank, so this is a legal move. King c2, and I think it's probably a good move. But maybe I get like this and that, and I don't know. Looks, maybe there's something for me. Probably not. So yeah, bishop b5. My opponent played knight d4, and that's yeah, now I'm actually, like, I mean, I'm still not doing much, but I'm doing something. I give this check. They can't block, because then I just win a piece, and then I'm actually better. Or actually, this is probably better as well, because I just immediately take the piece. So they can't block. If they go here, which I assumed they would do, I would play rook h2 and try to, like, block the king out basically, and put pressure on the b2 pawn. And there's a pin here which might be relevant, and I mean, it's not that easy to make a good progress move. Actually, it is easy. You can just go here, and this, and that's spoilers. That's kind of what happens later. But yeah, I think this is therefore just winning, but, and I can give a check, but then the king moves up. Yeah, I think that's probably winning. My opponent instead actually went to a2, and that suddenly there is, I mean, suddenly there's hope, I think. I saw a perpetual idea, so I played rook h1 with the idea that, or actually there's a mate threat kind of, so check. If they go here, then it's just a perpetual. I just go back and forth until they eventually are forced to go here. Then I go back again and I threaten mate. And it's kind of easy to stop, but it's, you know, I have to. It's just it's just copium basically. But I mean, I have to try something. It looks at least interesting. And yeah, but this isn't even all that much, I don't think, because the queen can move and then the king can run forward. But then it runs into my second rook, which I assumed might be something, but probably not. There is this nice mating trick, by the way. So like, let's say now they need to pass a move somehow. Let's say this doesn't matter. Check here, here. This is mate, which I sort of saw. So if they just waste a move, then I win. I do actually, or actually I don't win because I do get a perpetual. But that's good enough. So they actually have to be pretty fast here after rook h1. But they did play a good move here after, yeah. They played queen d6 immediately, and now this trick doesn't work because oh yeah, the point is this. So I give this check, I go back, and now they block my rook. So if I tried to do this, oh, also they can just take this with the knight, and there's no piece. I don't win the piece because the queen blocks. And this would have been good enough. And even if they don't, I think this is probably also winning, because there's actually a mate threat which is unstoppable, so I have to give my rook for the knight. But yeah, knight c6. Instead of giving this check, I looked at giving this. Yeah, wait. No, I did give the check as well, and here I had two options. The score for the match was actually relevant here. So there are two moves that I saw. I mean, I can take the knight, of course, and so yeah, that's move one. Move two is resign. I strongly considered resigning here. With the 2 minutes I have, I gained a bit with increment, but the score in the match at that point was 4-1 for them, and so we needed to win all 3 games. No, actually it was 3-1. Yeah, it was 3-1. We needed 2 draws basically. And I had looked at other games at some point. Well, there was a moment where my opponent spent like 30 minutes, so I looked around the boards. And the games that were left, one of them I assumed was a draw. One of them I thought, well, when I looked at it at least, our side was winning slash at least, no, it was up an exchange even. They were up an exchange. Yeah, there was one that I wasn't very sure of. I saw that my teammate was up a pawn, but in a opposite color bishop endgame. But they were a strong player, so maybe they had some winning chances. They were the strongest player on our team, and yeah, they also have a better rating than their opponent. So I assumed that if I got to a draw, which is not impossible if I take the knight, then there would still be a hope for a match point, which means that I took the knight and played on. We keep going, king f8. And so again, note 1 minute left or something like that. I believe I had 2 minutes here. My opponent played a move which was actually created some very interesting things here. So my opponent played c4, which is just, that's the plan, and if I take, they take, and then they do that again, and it's not easy to stop, because the second pawn is also something. But I thought, hey, this is funny, let's play it. I saw a5. Here's the point, there are 3 legal moves. Here, not there, here, here, here. And here, no, sorry, let's do this one first. The pawn is pinned, so I don't need to do anything, so I can just move my king out of any checks, which I would have done. Here I saw that there might be some fun on the c-file, would have probably played rook c1 there. And here, I mean, there's still some fun on the c-file, but it also attacks the bishop. But I can play, instead of the rook, I can play the bishop here, threaten a discovered attack. I didn't see everything about this, but I saw most of this. But mostly what I saw is that they can't actually take or push, because I mean, they can push maybe, but they can't take. They definitely couldn't take. So if I go here, so here, 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 because then I just win the queen, which would have been, yeah, would have actually won. So that's there. Here, I mean, the pawn is definitely blocked, and like I can take. I can even take with the bishop, but I think that's losing. I'm fairly certain that's losing. But even though I win the queen, but I'd give my bishop and rook for it, and they just were left with this position. Not there, here. Right, and this king is there in the end. And they just take my a pawn and run the b pawn, and I have to defend, and then they run to the other side, and I'm just slower. So they just run like that. Come on, can I? Yeah. And they just run their king like that, and I can't stop that, and so that would be losing. But it would have been fun, because I'd win the queen back that I sacked. There might be something better than that, but in that position, but whatever. It doesn't matter, because my opponent didn't go here. My opponent went here, and so I went bishop e4, threatened this, of course. And yeah, and my opponent, yeah, just tried to get rid of that and tried to promote a pawn. So they gave a check, I moved out, and c5. Here I saw again something fun. Where can the king go? Can't go here, can't go here, can't go here, can't go here, but that doesn't really matter. If I play rook d8, d1, the king has no legal moves. And I actually have a serious threat here. I'm threatening check. And they can obviously give the queen for that. Here, I think that's the only other move. I believe my plan would have been to give a check here. They have one legal move, or actually two. They can sack their queen for the bishop. They can go here, and then I would run. I would run my pawn. It's really hard to stop, and I think it's unstoppable even. And my rook can actually do that. So I really want to look at the e value here, but it might be closer than you might expect to a draw. And so there are plenty of options. My opponent can just play b4, but I believe b4 actually gives me the same idea. So check here, check there, forced. I probably take, honestly. Maybe not. Maybe there's like this, there's a nice variation about that as well, but maybe then the king goes back. Yeah. Or yeah. It's just... Wait a second. Okay, this didn't happen, but I really want to look at this. So check. Oh, they can also play b3 immediately. That also might be a thing. But maybe I can sack the pawn. Oh, they just go to a2 worst. No, they can't. They can't go to a2. That's mate. No, wait, no, it's not. Because they have b3. King there, that would have been mate. So b3 help saves. But then I take with check. And now... I mean... Okay, no, not king c1, but... King b1, obviously. Now this is interesting. Again. My opponent said that they looked at b4 for quite a bit. They didn't play it. They actually blundered here. They played queen d8. And so here's the blunder. And this is beautiful. d4 check. There are two legal moves. The king either moves here, or you sack the queen. Let's look at king here first. Bishop d3. One legal move. You have to take. And now I think I would play this. Bishop b5 check. Discovered x-ray, winning the queen. And this is winning, clearly. So, after d4, my opponent reluctantly decided that they were forced to take my pawn. And I'm up a piece for 2 pawns, but these are not great pawns. Okay. So now, note again, I have 1 minute. Actually, right now I believe, because I played the last couple of moves really quickly, I have like 3, maybe even 4 minutes. I have 4 minutes to figure out how to win this. Because these pawns are actually running. And it's like technically impossible. I believe it might be possible to stop if I move my king, but then I can't win it actually. So what I did is I moved my bishop because it's under attack. I think probably b4 is actually no, they actually need that pawn. So they played king c3, so which makes sense. And here I counted a couple of moves and I realized that this, I believe I'm always just barely in time after king g6 and just taking both pawns and running. So let's actually look at that. b4. I'm basically forced to take. Take. And here I think I played it accurately. I don't actually defend here or anything. I don't move the bishop. I mean, I'm going to have to sack my bishop for a pawn. That's going to have to happen at some point. But not yet. I can wait. I played king f5, king b5, took the pawn, c6. I still don't have to take. Because, so one of the variations I saw is, so there are 2 options. So let's look at the easy one. Here now I have to take. No, not f6. f6 would have been bad. That would have been really bad. f5. And this, I just make the queen first. And this is... Oh, they promote with check. Wow. This would have been a draw, actually. Because I can go here. And then there's probably a perpetual here because they promote with check. Wait, really? Nothing I can do after king b6? No, wait, no, here I can do this. This just barely works. Sorry, ooh. King d6 just barely holds, and they're forced to do this, and then they're just entirely too late. And they actually lose this pawn even, and they can't go here because of the bishop. So that's okay. So that just barely all works, and bishop takes c6 actually draws, but they don't have to play king b6. They can play c7 here, which happened in the game. Actually, were we at the game? Yeah, right? Yeah, we were in the game. And now I can block. King b6, attacking my bishop, that's just a tempo. And I play king c6. And this pawn runs. But my pawn also runs. And I calculated this. This all happens. I do have to give my bishop. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. What if I promote to queen here? Oh no, they promote here. And that's probably a draw, if not losing. So I do actually have to take queen, queen. And now we are at move 61. Suddenly, I might be winning. I just need to find out how in the hell this is winning. It's really difficult. So, I mean, it starts with queen b5. And I play king a7, queen a. I played queen a5. They go back. And the point is, I want to move my king from here in a way that they don't have too many checks. And I actually want to go towards the king. I think. That's what I thought, at least. And in the game, turns out to be pretty accurate. So I give another check. Note, if they ever go to the c-file, I win. Because I trade queens. Third rank, if they go here, I would have played this, I think. And then, I mean, they can't go too far, I don't think. And this is... there are no legal checks, I don't think. And then I have made a move with my king, and I mean, that seems decent. So they decided to not actually go to the 6th rank, they just go back. And I played queen d6. Now, one of the things I noticed is that this check is impossible, because I block and double attack, and they're forced to trade and I win. So there's only one check. You have to go here. I go here. Again, only one check. Well, technically not. If they go here, I block with the pawn, and then I have definitely improved my position. So my opponent decided to go here. Play king c5. So this queen went here, here, and now goes here. Nice square. Long moves. Here after this move, I looked at the position and thought, wait, why didn't I just block with my queen on c5? And there's a king on c5. It was really funny moment. I was really tired, and I am right now really tired as well. But now I have to finish this. It's been only an hour. It's fine. Here I play king b5, and I realized that I thought that I could have blocked, but I mean, this was just the plan that I went for. My plan was to go here, and I saw that it's possible if I take this route, because they can't give a check here. They can't. I mean, if they just block me, that's fine. Then I have my king here, and I give this check, and this. That's the win. So instead, let's see, where were we? Queen b5. Yeah, queen f1, and I can go to c6 finally. And I saw that this is losing, but my opponent played it anyways. And let's do that later. I thought the only move that had any chance, they can't give a check here or here, because I block with the queen and attack the queen back. So that would have been a loss. I'd also thought that they couldn't do that. So I thought the only move was here, after which I would have gone here. And then, I mean, they can't give a check on the 7th rank because I block with my queen. So they have to give a check on this diagonal. So let's say here. I think I would have blocked with my queen here. Maybe not. No, I think I might have actually gone forward here then. Or d8 maybe. I might have been d8 because there's only one. Oh, there's this check as well now. No, there isn't. Ah, now there's no more checks. Yeah, because I can always block on the 7th rank. Yeah, so now they would have to do something else, like, I don't know. They'd have to find a move, like, I don't know, this is probably not immediately losing. But now I change the position and I can move my pawn, because my king is out of the way. And I think that would have been... this would have very slowly won the game. Very slowly. Or maybe I just instead give some more checks. Maybe I can find a nice double attack. Like, I don't know. There might be something here. Might be like this, that. So, check. Here, check. Maybe they can actually run. Forward. Yeah, maybe this is... maybe I screwed it up somewhere. But this looks interesting. There's actually no check from... oh, there is. But I'd win because I think I'd win because my pawn keeps moving forward, and I think at least that's the point. But yeah, I think that's winning. But my opponent played queen g2, making it easier because now there's no more checks. You can't give a check here because I block with my queen, and that's winning. So my opponent tried something else, queen g8, and because my king is so close, this is just mate. I actually won this game in 72 moves. I played the last out of the 72 moves. I played like 40 to 50 moves on less than 5 minutes. This game was insane. Okay, let's actually look at the game. I'm probably losing for most of it. This is all... let's put an eval here, yeah. This is all main or just like book engine stuff. E6. Yeah, okay, makes sense, but yeah, whatever. Oh, knight bd7 is actually playable. And h5 is a good move. I did consider it. Castle. Ooh, now I'm actually really bad. Now my position is actually terrible. Knight c5. Yeah, castle. Oh, b5. Okay. Yeah, b5 still. Okay, makes sense. g4. Apparently my position is really bad. And it makes sense that this is bad. Oh, you can't actually go here. You have to go to a4. Interesting. Did not expect that. And this is also interesting. This is apparently bad. Yeah. Okay. But h4, yeah, I'm very losing here. Rook g1, of course, makes sense. This also makes sense. Bishop, yeah, okay. I mean, yeah, this is not that great, but couldn't really find anything It's still not. We're still playing at least. Have to take. Queen takes is fine. Rook g1. Queen h6 is solid. Yeah, I assumed queen h7, h2 to be good, and queen f2 is a bit worse, but still very winning. Yeah, I saw this, and e5. Yeah, then you'd also cry. b4. I mean, I have to try something, right? Yeah, d5 is terrible. Makes sense. I also looked at knight f4 for a little bit. I mean, I don't think it matters. Yeah. Okay, queen takes g3. What would... Yeah, queen e3. Makes sense. It's still losing very much. But... yeah, h5. I don't think my opponent would have played that. I think they would have played queen g4 instead. And then I might have had the chance to run away. Or something. Maybe not lose that much. Maybe lose a pawn at worst. Yeah. But yeah. Instead, I mean, I have the option queen f4. I did look at that. Yeah, queen f4. Line went h5. Rook h8. Rook g3. Okay, that's... whatever. Rook h3. They play h5. Yeah, f4. And now I have to run, makes sense. Still completely losing. Rook g5, great move, still completely losing. King e8 is playable, or king e7 is playable, king e8 isn't. In what world? No, not... no. Yes, yep, that saves that. Saved that. King e8 apparently is worse. Oh, because yeah, because like I said, the rooks would be connected, but like, yeah, okay, king e8, and apparently this is the queen is actually misplaced. That's weird. And f6 e takes, yeah. Oh, there's a mate here. Lol. Yeah, this is all terrible. Okay. Rook ac8. Oh wait, we're missing one move. Knight f3, which is apparently less optimal. Forcing this, I think, but apparently not. Take. They assumed that I would play queen f8 here as well, but they were shocked that I sacked my queen, which is apparently the only move that has any chance. Made sense to me. I thought that queen f8 was just suffering, and I think it actually loses her. I thought it actually lost a rook, right? Check here. No, it doesn't actually technically lose a rook. Because I thought I'd just take the queen, but you can take back with the rook. Okay, and but yeah, +2. This is substantially less winning, but it's very good for my opponent, of course. Bishop b5 makes sense. Suddenly getting in back in the game. Check apparently is bad. This is apparently bad. My opponent has queen b7, makes sense because it just does the same thing with a tempo. Rook d8 is also interesting. But check back, knight c6. I give the check, and then I have to sack. King back, c4, a5 check is one of the best moves. It doesn't really matter anymore. Yeah, king c5 looked like the best move, but there's still play there. And here I mean, it's not perfect, but I'm getting somewhere. Check. Nice. We're getting somewhere. And now my opponent needs to find queen e7, which is the same idea. You have to try to attack my king somehow, I think, because otherwise I just run here, probably. And I can defend that, right? Was the point. So check here. I'm looking at the main line the engine gave. Check there. Check, 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 check. Here. Check here. Check here. Wait, what are you doing? Did I just... Is this a draw? No, it's not. You have to go there, and then you can take the pawn finally, and this might be... Yeah. Okay. Yeah, whatever. So, you have to find queen e7, otherwise it's a draw, which is insane. Very well defended. And this is losing. And it didn't immediately find that. But yeah, the first minus in at any moment in the entire game on move 45, and I still have to finish it afterwards. I mean, you have to take, right? Yeah. Other options, actually, I also wanted to look at this. b4, rook d3. Oh, apparently this is... Yeah, b4 was the only other move that's kept an advantage. No, I wanted to look at this. b4. My line was this, but oh, you... Is really? Oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. Because it's just bishop versus 3 pawns, which is winning for the 3 pawns in this case. Yep. Yeah, every pawn matters, and so, and like there. But this is also interesting. Check, check. Take the pawn. b3 threatens, like, I don't know what. Maybe something. Wait, this is draw again? When did it turn into a draw? So, oh, apparently this is just a draw, so there's just, you have to find queen e7. Wow. And I have to find this. Take the pawn. Let's get out of that. Oh, I have to threaten this mate and it's unstoppable. Ah. So now white needs to find a perpetual. Funny. Okay, but yeah, and this was winning. But d4, and now I don't think it matters. King, sure. King f5 only move. Take, push, and king takes e5 only move. Nice, well spotted. c7 best try, makes sense. Bishop. King c6 best try. King f6. With the point that you run to... Oh yeah, same idea. I mean, this must be winning, right? Well, maybe not. Check here, check here, check there. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. They have to go to b6. Okay. Check there, check there, check there. Queen b1, I would have gone to c6. King Queen B2, same idea. It's calculating. Let's actually put it back here somewhere. See if it can calculate that this is winning. Please tell me it's winning. It's not looking great. -2 is not technically winning. Depth 25. Okay. Not gonna let it count for that much more than this. I should really, yeah, should really just finish this, honestly. Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's -2, that's something. And this is less than -2, but I strongly disagree with that. See, -2.5, 2.6, 2.6, 2.7. It's counting up. It's getting there. 2.7, 2.7. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I mean, it's 2.8. It's moving up. It means that it means that this might genuinely be winning. I mean, King B5 clearly the only move, otherwise you don't really do anything. Check. I saw 2.8 very briefly. Yeah, we're moving up in the world. My plan was King C6. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, 2.8. You have to go Queen A6 clearly. The rest is losing, which we saw. And actually I would have probably played King C7 here, by the way. And then there's no more check here. No more good check. Actually you can go here. But then there's no more check after that. So let's say here. Push the pawn. I mean, there is a check, but you don't have to give it. Check. There, let's say there. Clearly makes sense. Push the pawn again. This must... You're holding the king off. The pawn is defended. This must be winning, right? -3. Yeah. But yeah, this is clearly over. See, it's announcing mate. Well, it's practically announcing mate. Like, yeah. Just say checkmate. Come on. I know you know that it's checkmate. 40. Yeah, 46, 44, 46. That's just, there is a it can find a forced win, but it doesn't see checkmate yet. Okay, now it's just made in 3. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I still think this is winning. I should probably look at this on my own. Whatever. I won this game. Insane. And I've got another one on the next Saturday, and that's going to be fun as well, but my opponent is probably going to be weaker than this opponent, which definitely helps. And I'm playing as white, I think, right? Did I put myself as white? I'm gonna quickly check that. I made the team setup, by the way. I put myself as white, yes, I did. And I also want to look at this. I do also have a tab open for this. So my opponent will probably have a rating of I mean, definitely under 1900s, but I'm assuming 1840, something like that, maybe 1830. Uh, hmm. We'll see. I think that's okay. So it's still a challenge, but I have white at least. It's something. So I'll see you. I'll probably make a video about that game on Sunday, maybe Monday. No, I have a lot to do for the Tuesday. Might be Wednesday. We'll see. I'll see you there, and you'll see me there. Whatever. This game, oh, insane.